back. Welcome back, everybody. This is Two Coaches, One Grizz. I'm Frank Morales with our coach emeritus, Gil Laura, our super fan, the Grizz, Mario Mesa, and our illustrious producer, AC Anthony Carabutter. Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening? Especially, besides the gas shortage that we're dealing with right now. But how are we doing today?
Sir, there isn't a gas shortage. There's just
a frenzy, sir.
There's a lack of gas. The gas is not getting to us. There's plenty of gas. It just can't get pumped and get to us.
From A to B, there's a problem.
Yes.
Well, we got A. We're just getting it to B. That's the problem.
Apart from that, sir, blessed, thankful to be here. Another great week in the sports world. Plenty to dissect.
No shortage in talking about what's going on in the sports world, that's for sure.
We're getting point A to point B there for sure.
For sure.
All right, listen, we're gonna have our obligatory quarterback talk in a little bit here, but
oh boy, I can't wait for that one.
But we gotta
elite
start.
Quarterbacks, here we come.
Hey, baby.
Hey, last year was the Deshaun Watson talk. This year it's the elite quarterback talk. Jesus, we have a great offseason every year.
Let's right along.
Let's before the wheels fall off.
Why don't we just start talking about them Heat, baby?
NBA playoffs, sir. Let's get it going.
Big win. First game of the season. Big win for the Heat. As our crack producer likes to say, Playoff Jimmy was in the house. Playoff Jimmy came through.
We're gonna need Hall of Fame Jimmy to win the rest of the series, man.
Well,
but he did okay.
As long as Giannis's rear end keeps hurting, we might be all right.
Well, hold on here. You took the words right out of my mouth. If Giannis is out, you guys got yourselves a chance here.
So,
let's see what happens. Listen.
He's out tonight.
If Giannis is out tonight, which he is,
Game 2.
They already announced it.
He's out tonight.
The Heat have a chance. That guy's not sitting out unless he really can't go.
Agreed.
So,
first of all, I was listening yesterday. I'm not confirming. I didn't do my research. But if the Heat win tonight, I believe it would be the first time an 8 seed would be up 2-0 on the road to a 1 seed. Not sure. But even if it's happened before, that's a very rare occurrence. So it's huge game tonight. That's all I'm saying.
Coming back home up 2-0 again, even if you just get a split.
Yeah, the split is all you ever want.
Now you're up 3-2. You just want to wait.
You always want the split, but if you win 2 on the road and have to make them win 4 out of 5 with obviously 3 games on the road for them,
and you have now.
Would be huge.
Secure home court advantage. So,
but our problem is they lost a guy. We also lost a guy.
Yeah, Tyler Hero's out with a broken wrist. So
his hand. He won't be coming back. He's out for the rest of the series, probably the rest of the season.
4 to 6 weeks. So if he comes back to play,
it's in the finals.
We're doing really well.
It's in the finals.
And our answer is,
I will see him next year. I'll see him next year most likely. And let me tell you.
No, I'm talking about our answer on the court. Our answer from the court is... He didn't have
the greatest year, but we will miss... He had been playing better. And you need to be fully loaded to be going against the Milwaukee Bucks right now.
He had started out that game well.
I'm saying he had been playing well the last few weeks. So. He had been finally getting over a rough start to the season. This year, we were not shooting good from the threes. We were 27th, I think, in three-point percentage. And we shot 60% from the field and 60% from the three. So when you have your greatest game of the season, that's a great way to pull off an upset. Are we going to be able to sustain it?
Is Duncan Robinson going to be able to at least earn a little bit of that paycheck that he's been taking home?
Well, here's the bigger issue for me is
he made a clutch
Spo putting in Duncan Robinson over Victor Oladipo. Like, is that the disparity? Like, is Oladipo that out of it at this point? Like,
it's not. I don't think he's out of it at this point. But I think because of Robinson's ability to shoot threes, like Ace just said right now, he's able to spread the floor.
I guess that makes sense,
and
right?
That's what you need to do because Hero's your spread the floor guy, so you want to keep that mentality going. And again, if he can hit threes, and again, his Achilles heel is defense. He just sucks on the defensive side of the ball.
He is a turnstile, sir. So a traffic cone, if you will. But yeah, I guess that makes sense, right? Victor Oladipo and Jimmy, they have similar games. Right, so it gets a little crowded on the court if they're on the court at the same time. Definitely going to be interesting to see there if the Heat, get this game and Giannis continues to be out, then there is some light at the end of the tunnel.
I expect Giannis to be back game 3. I do think that he should be able to return by game 3. It'll be enough days off where he'll be able to play. He'll be back in there. Now, after that, again, like I said, if we can split it home, they have a shot to win it. And we'll see how that works out.
Very true, sir. Let's jump to the other interesting events in the basketball playoff scene this weekend with the stomp heard around the world by Mr.
Go Kings.
Mr. Draymond Green himself.
Go Kings. That's all I can say is go
baby.
Kings.
Here's my thing, right? Listen, nothing great lasts forever. Okay, the Warriors had a phenomenal run. They're a little long in the tooth. It is what it is, you know.
But I don't think it's long in the
Sacramento
tooth.
Kings are very young and very hungry.
Right, but I don't think it's long in the tooth so much as in they've really had this season has been one of those. They've just not been good this year.
I mean, it's a tale of two teams.
At home they're good, and away they're horrible.
They're the inverse of one another, home and away.
With that being said, I also think that there's times where Draymond Green needs to understand the situation. You know, like the saying is, know your room or read the room. Read the room. He's got to know. Okay, I've already been kicked out of an NBA Finals. I cost my team an NBA Finals, being
historic
up 3-0.
NBA Finals.
So now here we are against a hungry upstart team that plays well. They're playing good ball. They're all over the court.
Not only both games were in contention of them winning, regardless.
So again, you're in a competitive game. That is not the time to stomp the guy in the chest. I get it. You want him to let go of you. You can raise your arms and flail away.
However, I will go back at you. I don't think it was suspendable. Being ejected, I think, was enough. The reputation got him. And I believe him taunting the crowd at the end got him. Because when they interviewed Sabonis, he said he didn't even think anything of it. He said it's hard playoff basketball. That's what we do. And if you look at the tape, he did grab the leg.
I'm not going to argue that.
So all the things are there. It's just
But the problem
reputation.
is that the reputation, he doesn't try to walk anything back. If at that moment
he leans into everything,
he needs to walk it back. Again, read the room. Man, I really didn't mean it was. He grabbed my leg. I was trying to get out. Come up with some flimsy excuse.
Here's
but
the
don't
thing.
double down.
Here's the issue.
That's how he is, though.
I
He
get
loves
you.
doubling down.
I understand. But now, like you said, because of his past, because of his transgressions, because of the way he's been perceived, even again this year, he got into a bunch of games where he got technicals and
I mean, starting off with the Jordan Poole punch, you know, in practice that got released, but that's neither here nor there. The issue is, I think it's more so what Grizz said, right? Like, okay, the stomp, he probably would have gotten ejected either way. However, you have the commissioner in the building for that game. It's on national television, right? And then on top of the fact, he leans into it and taunts the crowd as he's on his way out. The NBA had no choice here, right? They have to draw a line in the sand and stand for something, because if they didn't,
that's the optics again. If
they didn't punish him, it wasn't going to look.
Like I said, I think if he doesn't taunt the crowd, he just leaves. I think we're not getting the suspension.
Just like Grizz says,
it's just him.
His history,
doubling down.
His history, he doubles down. Yeah. So then the NBA says, like, okay, bro, well, here we go. You're going to be sitting out another game. Let's see who wins. And he doesn't win. His team doesn't win. Nothing works that way.
I think they're still going to be fine for game 3. They're going to come out guns blazing. Obviously, they play totally different at home. The Kings, it was the perfect storm. Close games, a team that's hungry. Like I said, I don't think it's they're getting older. It's just this whole season, they have not had their complete team. Remember that Wiggins had been out for the last couple months. Their whole team has been injured here and there.
Great, but let me, again, they've gone to the finals, 5 out of the last 7 years? Something like that, or 6 out of the last 7?
They've been 5 out of, I think 8 years.
Okay. Anyway, either way, they've had long playoff runs.
Absolutely.
Right? That wears on you, and you see it historically with teams throughout history. Like, when they make those runs, you're talking about, when you get to the finals, you have a month off, and then it's basketball season again, essentially,
Correct.
right? It wears on you, right? And they have 4 championships. They're innately, subconsciously, they're resting, not that they're doing it on purpose, but that's a young up and coming Sacramento team that
most
smells
teams
blood,
that are in their position believe that it can turn it on and off at any point.
And what I'm saying is that bites you in the ass at a certain point. It does,
but this is the first time in the Steph Curry, the whole team's era, they've been down 0-2 ever. So this will be their first time
100%
having to go against that adversity. Like I said, luckily they're a really good team at home. They should be able, hopefully. I mean, obviously, if they lose game 3, it's over. No team's ever come back from 0-4. I believe.
Once you go to 0-4, you're done.
0-3, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
once you get to 0-4, it's over. Correct.
Four's done, sir.
Nobody comes back from an 0-3.
Four's done, sir.
However, if they win this game coming up, puts pressure back on the Kings, you'll get Draymond back. And if you go back to Sacramento 2-2, all the pressure will be on the Kings.
Right, for sure.
And as they always say, the series does not start until the road team wins a game. Once again, I picked the Warriors to win it all, so it's not like I don't want them to lose because I want my pick to be right, but I'm really, really glad this Kings team is performing this way because it's a fun team. And I said this, by far, this was going to be the most fun series in the playoffs.
I kind of want to look at it from a different perspective here, and there's been a lot of talk about this may be the last time we see Draymond in a Warriors uniform.
I think that's
and if this is the last look for him, right, and they don't advance, it's going to affect his legacy, right? Like there's going to be a part of his legacy that's going to be like, hey, you potentially cost your team 2 finals or 2 runs, whatever the case is. And it's sad, right? Because he's probably like the best role player in the history of basketball. Like he's the spark plug for that team.
I still don't think this obviously it doesn't look good how he's ending it, but the legacy is to me already cemented. 4-time champion. The guy is one of the best defensive players. He's that kind of guy. We got a guy like that. UD. This guy's just a better version with stats than UD. But even if they lose this series, it's not costing them a championship. There's so much to go before you get there. You'll always remember him for getting suspended in a 3-1 series against LeBron James and giving up the greatest regular season team record to lose 3-1. That, to me, no matter what happens here, it's semantics. That is the worst thing that's ever happened under his watch. And even then, they still won a couple championships after it. So he'll be fine. And the word is LeBron wants him. So if he goes to the Lakers.
Yeah, they're boys, which is hilarious.
Yeah, you go to the Lakers, and this team is looking pretty good right now.
So let's jump to that. Let's jump to that series right now. The most impressive thing, again, Lakers got kind of a stimulus package, right? John Morant out. He was already a little bit banged up with that hand and then ends up rolling over on it when he falls. To knock him out for the game, and he may not be around for the next couple games. Let's see what happens. And the worst part about it is it's his shooting hand, right? So that makes it even worse. But aside from that, the most surprising part of this game, at least from what I saw, is LeBron and AD didn't close this game out. This was Rui Hachimura and the great white hope, Austin Reeves, closing this game out for them in the fourth quarter.
He's that guy.
And
I'm him.
Yeah, he's him.
That guy said that.
Yeah, I know.
Amazingly enough.
And it was on the air. You could hear it.
Amazing. That he's saying that on that team.
It was hilarious.
And LeBron loves it.
Yeah, no,
and the rest of the Lakers love it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The greatest thing that happened, obviously, for the Lakers, we talked about it last week, the trades to get rid of the Westbrook, the Beverleys. That wasn't what they needed. They needed outside shooting. It's amazing how they've all, and to me, it's all about AD. Anthony Davis cannot be injured. He is, when he is healthy, top 5.
Yeah, because if he's out of the lineup, then LeBron's got to slide in and play big, and then it just takes him out of his facilitator role.
And remember, LeBron, that guy's 20 years in the league and still is doing things that nobody does.
But we're accustomed to seeing LeBron playing 45 minutes a game.
And he's not doing that anymore. However, if he needed to do it, he still could.
He could.
But you don't want that. And that's what LeBron doesn't want that.
And he's taking enough time off where he's fresh to put in a couple.
He's fresh.
But he doesn't need to.
But this is exactly the team that LeBron wants. He wants, remember, man, he's a facilitator. He loves to make the right basketball play. And now he's got the people making the plays. The others, as Shaq would say, whenever you listen to Shaq, I love it. The others are playing amazing, and usually the others don't play good on the road. That's a home team kind of feel, and they did great. It was a close game. In the last 3 minutes, they just blew it open to 16-point win with no jaw. And the stat that I saw earlier today that they haven't lost.
They're in trouble now. They're in trouble.
Yeah, 30 straight series when they win game one. They haven't lost since 1997. And obviously LeBron's probably only lost one time ever, leading Series 1-0. It's a wrap. I don't think it's over. I think it's over in 5.
Yeah, I think so.
Because without Jay Morant.
With no John Morant, Steve Adams is still out. A lot of their key guys. And they're not playing cohesive. Once the issue with Moran and the gun happened, it ruined that season that was going nice. And they're a brazen team. They're talking too much for a team that hasn't done anything.
It's a lot of chatter.
Don't like the chatter. You got to have the rings for the chatter. So that's why Draymond can get away with stuff. He get suspended and stuff, but he can talk because he's got the jewelry. You can't talk all that smack when you win a few regular season games. Win in the postseason and talk all you want. They're crumbling at the wrong time for the Lakers. Man, this is going to be crazy.
Yeah, they're hitting cruise control, and then the other part about it was like, hey, they could take a step back on offense and kind of rest there and allow the other guys to take control. But they were still affecting the game on defense, which is so we've grown accustomed to seeing LeBron kind of take breaks on defense because he has such a big load offensively. And also understand,
if they win this series, they get the winner of the Kings-Warriors. And yeah, the Kings might win this series and dethrone the defending champs, but I want to see you do that again and do that against a LeBron-led team.
Go Kings. Go Kings.
I know. I'm like Kings, I told you, man.
Go Kings.
They're a fun team to watch. I won't mind them going far. But I think if they match up with this Laker team, so could be. I don't know. Let's go over the Clippers.
Let's round out the.
Because I want to talk Clippers.
Let's round out the conversation with the LA Clippers and the Phoenix Suns.
Another great series.
That first game, the game one that the Clippers took, it just straight up looked like that the Clippers owned them physically.
Well, Kawhi Leonard's back.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard is on another level. Like he's on one, right? And that was on a 3 for 23 shooting or something like that, or 3 for 22 or whatever it was by Westbrook.
Had a terrible game.
Well, awful.
But he had the perfect time at the end of the game to make those plays that don't go on the stat sheet. He did the winning plays at the end.
He plays hard defense, all that good stuff.
You got to give it up.
He's an all-around player.
Effort, you can never say.
And he never stops. Even if he's having a bad shooting night, it doesn't affect his defensive play.
Right.
It doesn't affect him dishing the ball, help again, rebounding. That's why KD is a good guy to have on the team. As much as a diva as he is, and as much as he cries about when people say things to him on Twitter and acts like a bee. It's ridiculous. But he is a good ball player in every aspect.
Here's the thing, right? Like KD's going to give you 25, 30 points. Like that's like automatic, right? But for the Suns to, in my opinion, to pull this out, Devin Booker's got to be a dude also.
He is.
And that's what happened last night.
Right.
Of course.
But he is. I think that, don't forget, they've played games and stuff like that, but they're still learning.
Very minimal amount of games, right?
They're still learning how to play with each other, so they're really developing their game in the playoffs. So again,
this screams 7 games all day.
Yes, all day, and this is a hell of a matchup. Like this is a great matchup,
and this is without Paul George, which is another thing. Like if they allow this series to kind of drag on,
he's starting to cut.
Watch out!
He's
watch
starting
out
to come
with
off.
Game.
He's starting to do certain things.
Watch out, Game 7.
So.
But I'm saying Clippers win this series and they get Paul George next series. I'm telling you, man, we could be looking at a little LA Western Conference Final, which would be amazing.
That'd be dope. That'd be super dope.
Kings.
Go Kings. Up the road about 4 or 5 hours.
Go Kings.
Yeah, and then we have the lesser matchups here that I guess we should kind of touch on. Denver Nuggets, they're leading the series.
Meh.
I guess the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Meh.
Cavs tied with the New York Knicks.
That's
huge game last night.
Yeah, that's an okay series. I mean, the other two, Celtics just killing. Sixers killing. Those are, to me, done. The Cavs and Knicks will be probably a 7-game series also. But it's just, once again, the Knicks, see, Thibodeau, you can love him as a coach, but he works his players a little too hard. That's why Rose ended up getting hurt. He just worked them out hard. And
he's a grinder.
Yeah, but yesterday, why is Randall playing in the last 2 minutes of a 25-point game? And I think he almost got hurt. And that's the type of thing that, like, you got to be smart. Get your guys out of there. Call it 8. It's over.
Yeah, it's one thing to be old school. It's another thing to be
Yeah, you
smart.
got your split. Take your guys home because you almost lost your main
Your
guy.
best guy. Your best guy.
For no reason. A 25-point lead. The guy's still playing out there. Come on.
I'm pulling for a Heat Knicks matchup. I think in the next round. I believe it's slated for if it happens. Bring it back old school to the late '90s. All right, that'll be some fun nostalgia there.
Keep waiting for that matchup.
Well, why is that?
Well, I don't think first of all my team's gonna make it.
The Heat have a long way to go.
Yeah. But second of all,
It's all on
And
Giannis.
Cleveland, I think Cleveland's a better team.
Yeah,
than,
the Knicks aren't gonna make
than
it,
the
either,
Knicks.
but the Knicks have a better shot.
Well, there you have it. The definitive talk by two coaches, one Grizz on basketball. More to come in the weeks ahead. With playoff basketball, we're going to be talking about this until, June? So, all good here. We'll be right back with some NFL talk. We're going to jump right in here with the headline of the week in the NFL, for sure.
Tua thought about retiring?
No.
That's not it?
No.
What the? What?
And maybe sports in general with the magnitude of how it occurred.
How can Tua contemplate retirement
Shut
one?
your mouth with this Tua talk.
Oh my gosh.
Jalen Hurts signs a record $255 million extension.
Money well deserved.
Highest paid quarterback in NFL history, $179 million guaranteed.
For now.
His annual average will be $51 million. Topping Aaron Rodgers, topping Russell Wilson, topping Kyler Murray, topping Deshaun Watson,
but you know
topping Patrick Mahomes.
That's not the cap hits, right?
That is not the cap hits because, like we talked about last week, the signing bonus. So in 2024, right, not this year because his salary is a little prorated this year, but in 2024, he is projected or is slated to make $64 million between salary and a $23 million bonus. So it's a little bit of a smaller salary this year. Next year, it balloons because he's still technically on his rookie deal in
Right. It's an extension. It's an extension.
Correct. So 5-year deal, $255 overall, $179 guaranteed.
And just for the record, the former MVP of 4 or 5 years ago, whenever the hell he won the MVP.
3.
Such a long time.
Okay, that guy. He could have signed a contract that approached that contract and approached those guaranteed monies as well as guaranteed money with injury.
Coach, we've been over this.
No, I'm telling you. Listen,
they offered him $133 million guaranteed.
Okay, listen. Guarantees. There was also a $175 million guaranteed
injury guarantee.
Yes. Again, if you look at the base pay and take a look at all the different incentives they could have gotten, it would have been a contract right around. The thing is that his sticking point is 5 years guaranteed. This one is not a 5-year guarantee. He's got 3 years guaranteed. There is no 5. There's only one guy and one team stupid enough to pay that one guy 5 years guaranteed.
He shall remain nameless.
Yes.
Huh?
We'll leave that for another oily day.
The what now?
What?
Yep.
As I was saying, and again, Lamar, I'm sorry, overplayed his hand. Lamar overplayed his hand.
Sometimes you got to know when to hold them. Sometimes you got to know when to fold them.
No, by the way, have you guys heard that he had some random guy calling NFL teams? You guys haven't heard that one?
No.
He has supposedly a family friend.
Oh.
Okay.
We could solve that with an agent,
some
right?
Guy has a workout.
Lamar Jackson.
Some guy has a workout thing.
Lamar Jackson
was calling teams on behalf of
Lamar Jackson.
And Jalen Hurts right now was being praised because his agent's a woman. It's an all-female
his whole
thing. He's a very progressive young man getting it done. The ladies got to pay.
She got it done, which was a big thing that the league was looking at. Can this female agent get it done? And she got it done. Yeah. Now, going back to it, Lamar Jackson's was $50 million total with $133 guaranteed. It did not have the $179 or $180 guaranteed.
It had a $175 million clause.
If he got injured.
Yes.
But that's not guaranteed.
But, okay, 100 at that time, it was going to be about it was going to come out to about 40.
I'm looking at it.
That's okay. It was coming out to about $40-something million a year guaranteed.
I don't want to go
at
over the
that
same
time.
talk about the amounts of money
At that time.
that Lamar Jackson
like I
probably
said,
could have had.
We're going to move on amicably.
He overplayed his hand.
Not for nothing. I think you should just throw a little DM to Mr. Lamar and be like, hey, maybe I could be your agent.
But the point is simple.
God knows he gargles him enough.
I'm saying.
The point is simple.
I got your back.
Because you're arguing, it's the same thing. It's not the same
I
thing.
didn't say it was the same thing. I said
he got offered $50 million less in guarantees.
There was guaranteed monies, okay, that with the signing bonus and all those things.
Coach,
okay,
it's 133 guaranteed.
That's for the 3 years, bro. That's only the 3 years.
It was a 5-year contract, 133.
That's only the 3-year guarantee part, Coach.
Right, looking at it. Anyway, the bigger point is here, how does this bode for Lamar Jackson going forward? The next ones up for their extension are Burrow, right? You got Herbert coming down the pike. Okay, obviously we had Hurts who signed his 5-year contract. Okay, does this help or hurt Lamar? Grizz, thoughts?
I think Lamar just needs to sign. Whatever it is, let's go. Get out there and play. The only thing that's hurting him is not getting out there. I don't know what he's trying to do. I mean, this talk of Lamar Jackson back and forth every week, I mean, it's just getting sad to me. Make a move. Gil, I think, has said it correctly. I know you're backing him. He's an elite quarterback. He's an MVP. 5 years
it's not
ago.
even that. My point is the dude's worth more than the midget out west who got more than him.
But you keep playing that hand.
That's the only
hand you play.
But it's simple.
Him
but that's
Murray.
Every time a quarterback comes up for a contract, that next guy who's in that top tier becomes the highest paid player, right? Like that's the pattern. That's what it has become. With the salary cap growing and increasing, it increased by $17 million this year. It's at $120 or $224.8 million, whatever, but essentially $225 million. Okay,
he's in the wrong organization to make this deal, though.
Understood, but it's going to continue growing, right? So again, by percentage, and you want to take in inflation and everything else that goes on. The next man up always gets the bigger contract.
Check it out. At execution, the total injury guarantees for Jackson would have been 175. For Hurts are 180. The full guarantee at signing would have been 133 million for Jackson. For Hurts, it will be 110. Okay, so therefore he was getting more money guaranteed at signing than Jalen Hurts. Hello?
I understand.
These quarterbacks are making $3 to $4 million per game.
He's overplaying his hand.
For 60 minutes.
He's pushing for the 5-year guarantee.
$1 million a quarter.
That doesn't happen. He's got to.
Not enough.
You got to take what's on the table and then add some incentives. The guy would have gotten, to me, as I said before, this kid Hurts, again,
like I said,
Hurts has won more playoff games than Lamar. Yeah. He is ascending. Lamar has been descending. So again, that's why you're going to get the younger guy who's just played his rear end off, has all these things going for him, has all of a sudden ignited an offense. He's a kid that you don't hear anything about him.
No, he's got the perfect demeanor, work ethic, whatever you want to call it, for a quarterback.
Even with his extension, you didn't hear about him talking. You didn't hear him talk about, I want to make money. I want.
This is a dude that
team first guy
has never shied away from the adversity. Right? He hasn't chosen the easiest path. He chose to actually go the tough path. Dating back to Alabama.
One more point. By year 2. Hurts will have his full guarantee increased to 126. Jackson would have had 168 fully guaranteed by the second year of the deal.
Okay.
Again, that contract dwarfed what Hurts got. He would have gotten paid $42 million more by the second year. Yes, it's fully guaranteed.
Basically, Lamar would have turned down this offer then.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
And yet everybody's, oh my God, Lamar had a better deal.
I'm not going to argue anymore.
Don't because I'm showing you you're
so
wrong.
am I.
I'm showing you that you're wrong.
Anywho, I think here's the issue, right? Does a Burrow contract get done this year?
Yes. That's why I said for now.
Does a Herbert contract get done this year?
For now, Hurts is the highest paid. It will be one of those two, if not both of those guys. We're going to be up there.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I think the market was kind of a chicken situation where who's going to sign first. And then, it's partly his demeanor too, right? Hurts is about that action, boss. You know what I'm saying? Like he has grinded to get where he's at. Right, he
never left Alabama when he got benched.
No, exactly.
Left as a graduate.
He's never shied away from the adversity.
Went with Lincoln Riley, had a solid season at Oklahoma, got drafted, second, third round.
Went in as a backup.
Well, and then now he is.
He's just earned his way.
Yep. What a great, beautiful.
What a concept.
What a amazing idea.
Overall, that's
the
lost.
American story.
That's lost on, athletes nowadays.
The American story.
100%.
And now again, these things, I think, and by the lack of interest by teams of Lamar, I think that's hurting him also in getting the contract that he desires. Lack of interest all of a sudden makes you cheaper.
Well, let's also talk about the glaring situation, what made this contract extension and the signing so special. It's a first major women, and minority agent that was able to seal this deal. She works for Clutch Sports, but also he kept himself out of it, right? He let her do the work, and he just signed. He showed up the day that he had to sign the paper.
His feelings never got involved.
So that's starting to become the glaring faux pas, if you will, for him in this situation, right? That he's trying to negotiate it himself, right? It works, like you talked about, and you mentioned it last week. It works for a lot of different positions. It's not going to necessarily work for this position, right?
Quarterback, receivers, guys like that. No, they need to separate themselves from negotiations. Because again, like we said,
the hubris gets in the way.
Too much emotions.
When you go when you go buy a car, you're gonna kick the tires. Oh man, I don't think. Oh look, it's got a little spot there. I don't know. You're gonna find to be able to bring down the price. That's what negotiations are about. That's why it's better to have an agent that can represent you, and especially at that amount of money, we're talking.
The man,
$150 million.
Lamar just needs to make the call to Drew Rosenhaus. Get it over with.
3%.
And that guy will get you all the money you already need.
I'm hiring this chick.
Yeah, I'm saying she's doing great, but I'm just saying,
I'm hiring her. Hey, because honestly, she's doing a great job.
And it kind of
and low key.
And if you look at it, right, like a female touch, right? There's kind of a different conversation being had in those negotiations.
Officer, was I speeding? Oh, I'm sorry, officer. Couple of battles. Oh, $23 million? Can we get him 25?
Could you imagine
25? Well, okay, stop. He'll go 25. It's okay.
Could you imagine what that contract would have looked like if he would have brought the Super Bowl home?
No. Again, you strike and you strike while the iron's hot.
Do you see would you have seen a 275 if he had won the Super Bowl?
I think he got the upper end. I really thought I think that he get the upper end. Listen. You also have to understand, as we've talked before, is about the salary cap, about hits, about the team that's around him. That's the key in football now.
Right, and listen, they're giving him the money. They're giving him money in the yearly signing bonuses.
Correct.
And then they keep the salary cap hit down,
so they can continue to pay their other.
Because when you look at it, right, your salary's $20 million, but your signing bonus for that year, that yearly roster bonus is $40 million, and then that's how you make your $60 million or whatever that he's going to make next year.
So again, that to me is the key.
I do agree with you, right? He did strike the balance of not breaking the bank for the next few years and being able to keep the pieces around them, because they're going to have to sign A.J. Brown here pretty soon. They got to make a decision, right, with their offensive line, because you got a couple guys that may be out the gate in a couple years. So they have to either...
You got to replace Johnson.
They have to either get free agents or
they got to
draft correctly.
That guy, he's getting up in years. He's been the anchor of that O-line for a while. You got to bring in that next guy.
Kelsey at center.
Kelsey at center's the other guy. But to me, the tackle's always been their guy. Okay,
And he played the Super Bowl with a torn groin.
So again, those are the pieces now that they need to invest in and pay good dollars and see where they go from here.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, and again, we're not done yet. Like we just talked about, it's gonna get saucier, right? And we'll see if it benefits or hurts. You know, the guy that we've made our headline for the past couple weeks.
No, again, I think I don't think that contract really affects him. I think it shows what he left on the table, because now all of a sudden the parameters of that contract is coming out, and people are going like, man, he turned that, what? How much? Oh, but he would have made more. Oh, but he had a. So again, I think that is hurting and is detrimental to his cause. Also, teams not being interested or willing to trade for him also bring him down a rank or two as far as the money can make.
And I know you're going to refute what I'm about to say here, but like there is a little bit of like the air of, you know, collusion's a strong word, but they kind of circled the wagons when it came to this situation.
But
because
coach, why am I going to go after a guy?
Listen, in a vacuum, right? That guy is an extremely highly sought after.
No, he's not.
Asset.
Okay, he is a guy who you have to change your whole offense for. Number one. Number two. Hold on.
But Eric is a system guy.
No. Number two. He's a guy that is asking for the world, and no one is going to give him a 5-year fully guaranteed contract for the amount of money that he wants. So again, he's putting himself in a position where no one wants to be interested in him. No one's going to go out there and trade for him, because trading for him is going to cost me. Okay, it's going to cost me because he's not going to come cheap. The Ravens aren't giving him up cheap. Boom. Okay, and then I got to pay him on the other side another passo for 5 years with a guy that's been hurt 2 out of the last 3 years. So again, no, I'm sorry. I don't believe in that collusion crap. I do believe, again, I don't. I believe in the NFL is I want to win. I want the best team possible. Okay? And I'm not going to.
They're going to protect their bottom line, man. They've done it before. They've done it before with other quarterbacks.
But it's a business.
They're going to do it again.
But of course I'm going to protect my bottom line. Why wouldn't I? That's business.
Tom Brady himself even said it when he was in courts with that lawsuit with the Deflategate. You're never going to win against 32 billionaires, right?
It is. But that would, again, that makes
when
no
sense. When they circle the wagons, you're not going to win.
Coach, who wants to guarantee 5 years, brother?
It's not. Again, I don't think the sticking point is the 5 years.
Yes, it is.
I think it's the overall guaranteed money.
I'm telling you, it is. After looking at those numbers, after reading what I've read, it's the 5-year fully guaranteed. That is a sticking point. That's what he wants. He wants the Deshaun Watson contract. And I'm sorry, at 40 or 50, I mean,
it doesn't seem the Deshaun Watson contract doesn't seem as expensive as now, does it? Because it's only going to get those contracts are only going to get more expensive.
Of course it does. Because you know why? If Jalen Hurts, God forbid, gets hurt in year 2 or year 3, I'm good. I'm only on the hook for 150, 160. I'm not on the hook for the whole $250 million. Oh, yeah. Little flash dance, baby.
Little flash dance to break up the situation.
There you
here.
go. See, I was ready. I'm ready. Let me throw my hair around.
Let's go to
Let me go ahead. Let me get ready here.
Let's go to another oft injured and talked about quarterback down here in South Florida.
The real news.
Tua Tagovailoa over here mentioning that he was mulling retirement.
Damn right he contemplated retirement.
What a shocker.
I mean, if I breathe and get a concussion, I would contemplate retiring too. I mean,
you look back at his injury history, man, and it's like just so concerning. Both ankles, he had tightrope surgery on, had to get his hip reduced and repaired. The concussions. I mean, listen, the guy's gonna need freaking the steel wall around him to make sure he stays
wheelchair.
Up. It's
telling you, I mean,
fragile to say the least.
Like I said, my whole issue is his last concussion was a concern because he fell forwards like on his arms and stuff like that. It wasn't like he got knocked back and hit the turf. It wasn't anything like it was. He was falling forwards like a normal fall, and all of a sudden that's the one that ended the deal for him.
Remember, once you get one, right? And then he had the second impact, the second concussion within 3 or 4 days. Now you're just putting yourself in a position where you get rattled a little bit. You sneeze and you might get a little concussion.
That's the way I look. And again, and going forward, going into this season, I mean, I'm concerned. I'm not gonna lie to you, unless he wears a Don Beebe helmet.
Don Beebe helmet. Jesus
I don't.
Christ.
You know, that's serious. He's gonna have to get the Gazoo. He's gonna have to look like Gazoo from the Flintstones back in the day.
Darth helmet.
Yeah,
that's. I mean, and again, listen. And then just in the time that we live in with CTE and everything else, it's just because that stuff happens on TV. Millions of people saw that situation because it was on prime time, that second concussion.
And for him, it's the real deal. Like the CTE is a real deal there. It's not one of those situations where he doesn't feel the effects or doesn't have effects or.
Our crack producing staff's here saying that the NFL and Players Union announced a new quarterback-specific helmet to combat concussions.
There you go. The Don Beebe special.
The protected get more protected.
That's it.
Now,
don't breathe on them.
Lastly here, right, another headline to talk about, all right, our producer brought it up, is the whispers of Trey Lance trade talks. Why? What your uncertainty at quarterback and where?
Let me tell you, I think the number 3 spot has become a really bad place to get quarterbacks. Because you got Sam Darnold. You got this guy. I mean, holy crap. If I'm 3, I'm not drafting a quarterback. Anything but a quarterback. But again, I mean, and you know what? It's funny because you say that, and I'm looking at this whole Anthony Richardson talk. And to me, that's another guy he's a project. And you're going to waste a first-round draft choice on a guy that...
On a maybe.
That's exactly. That's a 50-50 maybe.
At best, 50-50.
I'm saying 50-50 maybe. And what are you going to run? How are you going to run it? How are you going to prepare? How long is it going to take to get that project going? So.
I mean, they're going to, for the trade talk to me says they're going to ride it out with Purdy.
Well, the thing with the thing with riding out with Purdy right now is his start date is unsure with the surgery.
Yep.
So you're looking at Sam Darnold being your starting quarterback for the first few weeks of the season. So I don't know how much that bodes for anybody. I mean, I'd be fading them.
Luckily, it's the best defense he'll ever have.
Correct. And running game and great pieces around him.
He just needs to not mess up.
If he just throws the ball to Kittle, he could be all right and hand it off to.
That's it.
To the other guys.
I mean, a good thing is like Tommy John. It's kind of like it's commonplace nowadays, right? And with a quarterback, the actual return time is a lot quicker. Whereas with a pitcher, you're looking at a year recovery. Here, you're looking at 5 to 6 months.
Different stretch.
Not to mention that little September call to one Mr. Brady. I'm sure is going to happen.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I don't see it happening.
Brady conspiracy talk.
There it is. Yeah. I mean, listen, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility.
I think it's over, but it's never over in the media. So you will hear about it. You will hear about it.
Never ever. The draft is coming up.
Draft's coming up next week.
They say Bryce Young is the guy. They say he's the number 1 quarterback.
Oof.
We'll
the betting market. He's the favorite. He is now the favorite.
I'm bigger than him. Like that's saying a lot.
Scary thought.
He's 5'10" and a manufactured 204 at the combine. I wonder how many gallons of water that guy chugged before stepping on the scale.
He was doing the pee-pee dance.
No, listen, 1,000%.
He could hold it. I got to hold it. I got to hold it. I can't. Okay. Did I weigh?
Are we done?
Okay,
Are we done?
There you go.
All right, and immediately just pissed out 15 pounds of water because his playing weight at Bama was about 184. So just put that. Now, by all accounts, they say he's a great quarterback that happens to be undersized. But all those dudes, the smaller, the Drew Breeses, the Russell Wilsons, the Kyler Murrays even, like, they're thicker guys at that stature.
Yeah, the thing with him is he just has he has the potential
to light it up.
To dissect all defenses. He's done a great job of anticipation. He's got all those tools,
right? The intangibles and those, cerebral,
correct, to be able to
the cerebral skills
to play that position. Again, I mean, going back to Tua, supposedly Tua's put on like 20 pounds of muscle, so it's another situation where this kid could end up getting bigger and hopefully playing without injury. I mean, he did play the 4 years or his 3 years at Bama without injury.
I hear you.
So he was hurt only. I think he only hurt 1 or 2 games this year. Nothing. And it wasn't anything serious.
Right.
As Tua.
I hear you, but that's also like a gift and a curse, right? Like, because you may, if you put on in a body frame that is not built to carry that much weight, you lose a little bit of mobility, right? You tend to potentially be less flexible. So you got to kind of have to be smart about that.
But nowadays, the way these guys train and things of that nature, stretching and flexibility is number one,
which is going to be key for him.
So again, he's not a running quarterback per se. He can run if need be
when he has to be.
Correct.
Right.
So again, I don't think that'll hurt him as much either in his play ability.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was Pro Football Focus, I think, earlier this at the end of last week, I should say, giving them bust percentage grades, and like they all, Stroud and Young were both in the 40s, and then the other two, Levis and Robinson, were up in like the 60%.
Oh, the thing with Levis is he's got a great arm, but again, his
physical talent.
Right. The rest of his stuff is very questionable. We throw a lot of interceptions. It's very questionable. I mean, I do know that they kind of changed the offense a little bit with him his second year. He had a great year the year before with Anthony Richardson, new coach, great athlete as well. I don't think his throw has ever been there, because before the coaching change in Florida, he had the battle for the starting position. It was a coin toss. It's not like he overtook and was playing for 2 years.
It wasn't outright.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, we talk about this, and we've had this conversation before. You can be the best talent in the world. It's all about the situation that you come into. Are the coaches going to put you in the best position to succeed? Are they going to build an offense around you that accentuates your talents and minimizes your faults? A lot of times, and we're kind of getting out of that mold of coach that, back in the day was like, we're going to run this system and you're going to deal with it, square peg, round hole. No, now coaches are the new guard of coaches in the NFL, and at all levels, right? They're starting to kind of mold and do things to help out
you could get away with
their
it
quarterbacks.
Back then, now you can't, just because of what's going on with everything else.
So, we're I think that does it for today, actually. All right. Next week, we're going to go heavy on the draft talk, right? We're going to do our little draft preview. Okay. Give some analysis here. But that does it. Now we're going to go watch some basketball, some playoff basketball to get prepared for next week. Gentlemen, it's been good. I want to thank our sponsors, General Carnitas Gourmet Meats. Hit up generalcarnitas.com for all of your premium meat selections. ProdigyCoaches.com, tutoring, K-12 tutoring and test prep, and Prodigy Athletic Gear for all your custom athletic wear. This is 2 coaches, 1 Grizz. Out.
Let's go, Heat.